Well, well, well. If it looks like now they're blaming the failure of Brave New World on Chris Evans' Captain America not appearing in the film. Kevin Feige himself said it. Let's get right into this video because it's crazy. So let's address the fact of this. I saw this today and you got to look at it. Marvel boss Kevin Feige in a recent interview blamed New World or Brave New World failure on replacing Chris Evans' Captain America with Sam Wilson. This is baffling because the thing is this. If you go back and you watch on record, actually, there are interviews and records of Sebastian Stan saying originally Bucky was supposed to get the shield. But after everything that happened, after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, everybody enjoyed everything. And they started saying, hey, you know, we can really do this with Sam. Because at the end of Endgame, they gave Sam the shield, which felt really forced. Sebastian Stan's Bucky went through all this arc and whatnot, and Sam just tagged along, and Sam was given the shield. And then after that, Falcon and Winter Soldier, they were like, oh, this is a really good show. We're building up Sam. And then you got one of the most awkward endings where Sam is talking to the police, telling them, you got to do better.
That I believe we can do better.
What was that? And, you know, it just felt really forced on Sam. And I like Sam as a character. I think he did well in Brave New World. But at the same time, the way this movie was perceived was not good. We're going to dive into some things that really hurt this film. First off, connectivity or connective tissue. Why did we have Sabra? She is like 4'6", was not believable in her hallway scenes where she was fighting agents and whatnot. Hear me out. Instead of Sabra, you should have used Yelena. You should have said that Val offered to use Yelena to help them out during this fight, but she wanted something in return. Hence why the new Avengers eventually are going to work with the Avengers in Doomsday. You got to give us ties. We got to make sure that the characters are at least believable. At least Yelena, even though Florence Pugh's not much bigger, was at least believable because of the way the character worked. This was a shell of a character. Oh, I'm a Black Widow. Oh, like she had no development whatsoever. You put Incredible Hulk villains in a Captain America film. We used Red Hulk. Now, don't get me wrong. It was great when it happened in the last 5 minutes of the film. And Harrison Ford did one heck of a performance and sold us on Thunderbolt Ross. But once again, what does Sam Wilson have anything to do with Thunderbolt Ross between the tiny little segment where they have together in, I believe it's Infinity War, when they're walking down the stairs and the guy's like, or Ross is like, arrest them. And Rhodey's like, on it. That's it. That's all we had. There was no need for this connection. There was no point of it. And it was a dumb buildup. Bro, the leader. First of all, not only do you mess up his look, I mean, he looks gross, which is cool. But at the same time, what does he have to do anything with Sam Wilson? There's no point to him once again. You're using Incredible Hulk villains in a Captain America film. So instead of using the Serpent Society and having them go around and being wrecking havoc and stealing weapons and possibly stealing super soldier serum, we're saying, oh, adamantium for the 5-second plot, just to mention the giant celestial that's in the ocean. And then you got this guy who's we don't know nothing about until the very end of the film in the post-credit scene, which is crazy to me. Hi, Dad. I would like that too. You literally brought Liv Tyler back, Betty Ross, for no reason. For no reason. Yes, you know, Thunderbolt Ross wanted to be better for his daughter and all this stuff, but he's in prison. You put him in prison in front of his daughter, and that's how they're talking, getting their quality time together. You put him in the raft. Are we ever going to see him again? Probably not. Not till after this reboot, and it probably won't be Harrison Ford, who once again did an amazing performance, who actually wanted to be in the film and did a great Red Hulk. But once again, there was no point to him being in this film. His character did not match with the dynamic of this movie. The leader is trying to humiliate Ross the whole movie because Ross was experimenting and Ross was promising him immunity and whatnot, and then Captain America finds this out in the background, and this is supposed to be like the Winter Soldier film, but it's not like the Winter Soldier film because, yes, where it is as dark, it's not as edgy and violent. There was so much about this, and the next part you're going to be like, okay, which brings us back to this post-credit scene. Sam is like, you thought you did something, didn't you? And the leader's like, You will not know what you have to do. This is not the only Earth. I hope you know. They are coming. Now hear me out. There was an interview with the director saying that he was hinting at the Illuminati was the original idea. Then we're told it's just different Earths because there's going to be battles, maybe possibly incursions and whatnot, which once again, we didn't even imply. We just made the audience say, oh, maybe that's what they're talking about. They never solved this. They never gave us an actual reason for what the plot was or what was going to be moving on next. It was just a story that was like, here. Everything else is over here, and this story's right here. You're like, what's going on? Which I think the better plot or the better post-credit scene would have been this. We should have been shown Doctor Doom in a different universe offing Avengers. Like, could you imagine having them all in the Tony Stark, the Hulk, Thor, Captain America, maybe a Sam Wilson Captain America, maybe Bucky, maybe all these other characters, having them on the ground and having Doom destroy them, and then having that world blow up. Like, show that Doom is a threat. Show that he should have been like, a man is coming, and he looks like one of your friends. So we should have had a build up to why Robert Downey Jr. looks like Dr. Doom. Why Doom is such a threat. Why Doom is on his way, instead of just being like, they're coming. You don't know who they are. This is not the only Earth. It's literally how I felt this whole thing was. Like, can we just get to the point? Can we just mix the films? Because it's called the multiversal saga. We're getting to the incursions and Doomsday and Secret Wars. When this movie came out, there was only 2 films left. There was Brave New World and there was Fantastic Four. Now, the Fantastic Four post-credit scene gave us a little bit. But once again, just Doom in a hood. Doesn't tell us where we're going. Doesn't tell us what's going on with it at all. Doesn't tell us nothing. We obviously can assume either he takes Franklin Richards heals his face, or he's going to have building their trust and they're all going to work with him, which should be really weird. But at the same time, the manipulation of Dr. Doom is going to be a 20, which is going to be great. So my thing is this. If this film wasn't needed, you should have wrote it off. Kevin Feige, you are the head of Marvel Studios. I understand there are chairmen and I understand there are people who pay the bills, but at the same time, you have to put your foot back a little bit and go out and talk with Bob and them and be like, hey man, this might not work for us, or we need to change this, or we need to make this a different kind of film, or we need to redo this again. You guys spent like $450 million between budget, reshoots, filming, cast, all that stuff, and you didn't make your money back, and you wonder why. Because this film wasn't good. Sorry. P.S. I really love Marvel, Kevin Feige. Please don't be mad at me. I'm just trying to give some constructive criticism. That's all. Have a great day. GeekyCast out.